Hey, how's it hanging? It's me. Yeah, I'm making a video. So I'm talking about Lele Pons. Yeah, I know it's a market that's barely been touched at all. I mean, it's completely wide open for me to come in and try and get some views on. Anyway, I'm not really a commentary channel. Okay, maybe I kind of am, but not like this particular kind. So I was on the trending page the other day, and I came across this video, Amigos, featuring Lele Pons, and I was like, I want to see if her content, has changed, because I'm pretty sure most of us think that it's bad. So I watched this, and it might be one of the worst things ever. So Amigos is basically like this play on Friends, except it's nothing like Friends. Absolutely nothing. I guess the play on Friends is that they're all Latino. Except two of them are not Latino, I'm pretty sure. But that's besides the point. The point is that this thing does not make any sense, and I don't understand how it's really funny. So let's just run through the video. So it starts with this horrible Friends copy intro with this Latino music behind it. Whatever. So, you know how normally when you're writing a sketch comedy, you kind of actually give a setting, introduce the audience to what's going on? Well, that doesn't really happen here. Are you serious? You came in right now? Out of all the times to come in, you come in right now? Dude, I just fed you like 10 minutes ago. Hey, buddy, hey, calm down. Okay, stop meowing. Stop. Jesus Christ. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. I don't remember. The thing is, they just give no explanation about what they're doing, or why they're here, or how they're here, or, just a basic who, what, where, when, why, and how. I think I repeated the same word twice. The point is that they don't give me any context about what they're doing. However, I am a smart individual, so I can assume that they are camping. So here comes the first joke. None of them know how to pitch a tent, and Hannah just does it within a second. Good joke. Hannah Stocking is actually the person that I hate the least in this. I don't think she's very funny, but she actually tries. The other people don't really seem to be trying it. So then it's like, I don't know, X amount of time later, and Hannah Stocking hasn't come back from using the bathroom. So these two girls decide to try and go find her. And here comes the next joke, I guess, is that this guy, I don't really know what his name is, he pretends to be tough and act like a macho man, even though he is weak. He pumps his chest out and his arms, and he uses a deep voice, pretending to be a man. I mean, it's bad. Yeah. So basically they're walking, and here comes the joke, is that they see a snake, he jumps into Lele's arms, and proceeds to be a baby. So that was the joke, is that, look, he pretends to be big strong guy, but when there's danger, he's not big strong guy. Good joke. So meanwhile, while that's happening, these two guys are chilling, watching the campsite. I'm not trying to be mean, but this guy, I cannot understand what he's saying.
I'm trying to protect this family.
Trying to make a song here.
I see what you're doing.
Halftime, and he's not a good actor at all. My theory about how he's actually popular is that he is a handsome individual, which I will give him. So what happens here is this dude's trying to play on the guitar. Stuff keeps hitting him. He thinks it's the other guy, but then they find out that it's some random guy. Let's take this joke even further. Look how this guy is scared that there's a snake on him. You thought he was big macho man? Oh, no, he's not big macho man. He's big baby because he's scared of snakes, which are actually kind of scary. And then here comes maybe, I guess, the funniest part of this is we cut back and we see these two in the tent trying to protect themselves with sticks that are, not really weapons. I chuckled at this point because I thought that was like, that's a cool gag, but not really a laugh, just a chuckle. That was kind of the funniest thing they did, and it wasn't really even that funny. I cannot understand what this guy is saying.
You're easy to make me convince, I think.
Okay, on three we go.
Uno.
So here comes the weird part is they all get mixed up, and then they find Hannah is the leader of this tribe of people who are just dancing and doing stuff, and for some reason Hannah cannot recognize them as her friends, and all these people are saying Hannah Banana. That is their language, and the joke is that that's all they say, Hannah Banana. That's real clever, guys. real clever. And then it takes like some flashback thing, like something you'd see it from a movie where a guy has like amnesia, where he like all of a sudden recollects all of his memories. That's what happens here. And then she's like, oh, these are my friends. Comedy is subjective, I get that. I don't think this is funny at all, but I would have been okay with this if the story made sense. It makes no sense. Why does Hannah become the leader of this tribe? Why can't she remember anything about her friends? Why does she need to recollect her memories to remember them? Like, it just makes no sense. There's no explanation for anything. Things just happen. If you guys know South Park, the creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, their philosophy on writing stories is it's very simple. Instead of saying then, you got to say because. So X happens because Y happened. You can't just say X happens, then Y happens, because then it doesn't make sense. It's not a coherent story. So for example, I wanted to take a look at some random other sketch comic group that I find better to be than Lele Pons, and that's Smosh. So I used a spinner to pick a random episode of Smosh. You know, took me a long time to write all this down. So used the spinner to pick a random episode so I could compare it to this. And the episode I picked was Anthony's Mexican. So which is ironic because, you know, the whole Latino thing. So in Anthony is Mexican, basically what happens, we jump in and we immediately start with Ian and Anthony giving us context about where we are. He says that they're in the hospital because Anthony got stabbed, which is, you know, just a funny little gag. And then Anthony proceeds to make fun of Ian's belt because there's a Union Jack on it. And then Ian says that, you know, it's important for people to represent their heritage. And Anthony notices that everyone else celebrates their heritage. Anthony tries to find out what he is, and because his last name has the sounds of the Spanish language, he comes to the quick conclusion that he's Mexican. Now, all of this makes sense, okay? The joke being that, you know, Americans think like, oh, if you speak Spanish, you're Mexican. All of this makes sense, right? Anthony believes he's Mexican because his last name sounds Spanish. Anthony questions his heritage because everyone else in the hospital room is celebrating their heritage. It makes sense. This does not make sense. Hannah Stocking is the leader of this tribe because we don't know. It just happens. It's then. Hannah leaves, then becomes the leader of this tribe. That's the problem with this storyline. Now, let's keep continuing with Anthony's Mexican because it's actually, I mean, I thought it was kind of funny, but that's my opinion. Anthony leaves to try and to be one with his culture, right? He works at a taco shop. He sells strawberries on the street wearing a poncho. He hangs out with Mexican gangsters, you know, stuff like that. And because of this, Ian becomes lonely and sad and has this funny music montage. Notice how while this video, Anthony's Mexican, it's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. Everything is ridiculous. It makes sense. You know, you can kind of come to the conclusion. The joke is, you know, Anthony is an idiot for coming to the immediate conclusion that he's Spanish, right? That's kind of like the joke of it. Whereas in this, they're idiots, but nothing makes sense. So it can't be realistic. It also doesn't help that the jokes aren't funny at all. And when you have that, when you have bad jokes and a bad story that doesn't make sense, you get a recipe for garbage. I don't understand how this has over 100,000 more likes than dislikes. It does not make sense to me at all. It's honestly sad how sketch comedy like this has gotten here. And this is what kids are growing up with, because this is just not funny. Even though Smosh is childish, and I'll give you that, at least their comedy made sense, and at least the jokes were decent and weren't forced, and at least they were trying to act in their videos, where these people aren't even trying.